As you guys know, we here at WatchMojo are experts in running out of ideas, so we thought we'd point out when other people do it. Hey guys, I'm Rebecca from WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 shows that ran out of ideas. We're looking at TV shows, both old and new, that at one point or another started showing signs of getting stale and repetitive. No shade. Anyway, let's get to the list. Number 10, True Blood. True Blood was a series that had its ups and downs, but even die-hard fans have a hard time denying the fact that the final 2 seasons weren't exactly up to par. Eventually, it seemed like the writers stopped bothering to come up with new ideas, content with retreading the same worn ground again and again. Seeing Sookie still struggling to decide between Bill and Eric over and over became draining, and the introduction of other love interests in later seasons complicated matters even further. Meanwhile, other creatures like witches, fairies, and werewolves, as well as other storylines like another love triangle including Sookie's brother, and a deadly vampire virus made things way too over the top.
I'm not so sure about that.
Number 9, Prison Break.
We're all a long way from where this started.
Prison Break was a show built on the premise of a group of inmates breaking out of the clink. The problem? What happens after they escape? Prison Break ran into this issue in each season after its first. The series was constantly forced into extending the premise and finding ways to keep things interesting, but to many viewers, it never quite succeeded in its attempts to match the exhilarating first season. Whether they were rehashing the same plot as season 1 in a new location, or introducing additional convoluted subplots, the story of Prison Break floundered after Michael succeeded in breaking Lincoln out in season 1, and never quite recovered thereafter.
Shut up.
Number 8, Homeland.
Get out of my way.
You don't have to say anything. You just have to listen.
Get the fuck out of my way!
Despite its early season success, something about Homeland feels dated. For starters, the show's treatment of Middle East politics has often been criticized as old-fashioned. To make matters worse, each subsequent season has felt notably similar to the one that preceded it. When Homeland started, the show was fresh and exciting, but that feeling quickly fell away as it failed to stay socially relevant in terms of its subject matter. With the series' final season to begin airing in late 2019, fans are hoping that it can recapture some of its former glory to end on a high note.
No idea what's about to hit him.
Number 7, Supernatural.
So I'm dead?
According to creator Eric Kripke, the original plan for Supernatural was to end after the Apocalypse arc in season 5. That does seem like a logical stopping point, but the series was so popular that it kept going, and the years since have been quite the mixed bag. Though the moody arguments between the brothers made for entertaining television at first, it's now been over a decade, and for many, the act has gotten old. That, along with constant possessions, deaths, and resurrections, has us thinking this series should have stuck with the original 5-year plan rather than going on until their 15th season, which is slated to be its last.
Just slow down, so I can catch up.
Number 6, The Walking Dead.
I'm gonna kill you.
We're not saying adaptations need to stick to the source material, but more often than not, that's the safest bet. With The Walking Dead, AMC took plenty of liberties with Robert Kirkman's comic book series. But barring a few exceptions like Judith's survival and the introduction of Daryl, these departures have more often than not been baffling. From the fake death of Glenn and the lead up to the real death of Glenn, all the way up to the handling of Carl and Rick Grimes, it's been rough. The Walking Dead has seemingly often relied on marketing stunts to attract viewers during the late 2010s, rather than the actual quality of the show.
I'm sorry.
Number 5, Heroes.
You're so concerned with proving that you're better than me that you're willing to get yourself killed. I am better than you.
After this series got off to an incredibly promising start, it became clear that the creative forces behind Heroes didn't have nearly as clear a vision beyond that. The first season was must-watch television, but the future of the show became more bleak when the second season lost much of the charm of the first. A problem only made worse by that Writers Guild of America strike. As the storylines lost their focus and became bloated, ratings began to plummet, and the show quickly fell off, steadily declining until its eventual cancellation after 4 seasons. Heroes was revived in a 2015 miniseries titled Heroes Reborn, but the show featured many of the same problems as the last seasons of the original.
The one thing you don't want to feel is regret.
Number 4, The XFiles.
How's everybody doing?
A classic case of dragging a good show on for too long, The X-Files became a shell of its former self by the end of its initial 9-season run. Beginning with the debut of the show's first feature film after season 5, the show began a slow decline that worsened when Fox Mulder actor David Duchovny only appeared in half of the episodes in season 8. By that point, many episodes felt like recycled stories, and it became apparent that the cast was losing interest. The show finally came to an end in 2002, but was later revived for 2 more seasons in the 2010s to mixed success.
I just worry about you, Mulder.
Not to worry, Doc. I'm taking good care of myself.
Number 3. The Simpsons. There once was a time where The Simpsons could be called the best show on television. That just simply isn't the case anymore. Many fans will argue over when the decline began, but there's no doubt that The Simpsons of today is a very different show than what it once was. The series that used to be based around the characters of the family eventually became more focused on celebrity cameos and shoehorning in new locations. Gone is the clever, layered joke writing that made the show famous, and in its place is a non-stop barrage of sight gags. This might seem harsh, but it's only because we hold the early seasons in such high esteem.
Crab meat po' boy, duck po' boy, chicken sausage po' boy, crawfish sausage po' boy.
Number 2. Family Guy.
Griffins, let's make this our Emmy-winning episode.
Seth MacFarlane's animated family sitcom took more than a few cues from its yellow-skinned predecessors when it debuted in 1999. Though it's had its fair share of memorable comedic moments, the show outwore its welcome a long time ago with its over-reliance on pop culture references and stale weekly storylines.
Wow, the White House is great. There's no wonder you spend 2 days a week here.
But it's only gotten worse as the years have gone by. Family Guy was labeled as an unoriginal comedy by critics from the very beginning. And over time, it's lost many of the fans it once had.
What are you doing?
Waiting for the laugh to die down.
When I was reading this list, I kept thinking about that South Park joke, The Simpsons did it, but I guess that applies to Family Guy too. Anyway, if I had to give you my pick, I think I would go with The Walking Dead. Like, I still watch the show, but, and I guess since Rick left, it is kind of a bit different, but how many times can I watch these people go out for a food run and do something stupid and then get eaten by zombies? I mean, like, it's the same thing over and over again. Anyway, do you have any idea what number 1 could be? Let's check it out after these honorable mentions.
Operation Cobra is over. We did it. We have our happy endings.
You traded your place in God's plan for the pathetically mundane.
I like mundane.
You could have come to me. We would have worked it out.
I panicked.
And that, kids, is how I met your mother.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1. The Big Bang Theory.
That pause gets longer every show.
I believe you're right.
When the foundation upon which the humor of your show is built is the fact that the main characters are nerdy, you might get into trouble in the long run. The reaction to The Big Bang Theory is a controversial topic, as even though many will agree the show stopped being funny long ago, it still boasted consistently massive ratings for many years.
What are you guys giggling about?
You're passing notes to each other.
Love notes?
If you love math.
What can't be denied is that the show became a cartoon version of itself in its later years, with the actors pretty much forced to play caricatures of their characters. After 12 seasons on the air, The Big Bang Theory has finally come to an end, and many will say it's been a long time coming.
I'm walking away from you.
I'm still mad they didn't give Penny a last name. Anyway, are there any other shows that you think got stale? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and to be clear, I do mean television shows because I know you're already gonna say we're running out of ideas. Anyway, let us know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out this other video if you've run out of ideas on what to do next.